Ryu brings his fists to a street fight. What does Rolento bring? A stick, knives, cables, and hand grenades.
Greetings, Quarter Munchers listeners. It is I, the John, and welcome to the Evo Wrap episode of Quarter Munchers. The esteemed panel that I was supposed to have fell ill, essentially, but I was able to pull the voice of voices, my man on the floor, and someone who I've really missed having on this show. Introduce yourself, mate.
It's me. It's me, Austin. It's been me all along, Austin. It's the only Mitch.
It was me all along.
No. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, you talk about your whole panel being sick. I'm actually sick. I fucking got con crud at Evo because I was at Evo.
I've never heard it described as that.
Well, I've always heard it as, like, con flu or con sickness, but when I got home from it, everyone was like, all my roommates were like, oh, you got con crud. I mean, it's alliterative, so I get, it rolls off the tongue.
But, that just makes it sound way worse than it actually is.
I would rather have con plague than con crud. That makes me sound like I'm the dirty asshole, like I'm the weirdo. The one spreading it. Shit, man. I was using fucking hand sanitizer, like, before I ate anything. I was clean. It's the other fuckers there that were fucking... It's those smashers, I bet. The smash kids.
the melee crowd.
Yeah.
I just lost listeners.
I'm kidding. They aren't that bad. They weren't that bad this year, actually.
But, as I said, this is the Evo Wrap episode last weekend in Las Vegas at, was it the Paris?
The Paris Bally Convention Center Space Zone. Yeah, basically Bally's and Paris combined.
But Evo happened, the largest fighting game tournament in the world, and only getting larger.
Every year. And apparently, attendance was up like 30% this year.
Wow.
Yeah, like last year I think was close to 10,000 and this year was 13.
Man, and
it was so packed. It was nuts.
And from what I understand, there was a lot more hype. Like, a friend of mine from the Buffalo community, Cha-Cha, he's a big Tekken guy. He posted a video on his Instagram that he walked in on Friday night and what's normally kind of an emptying out room was still a packed room just for USF4 pools.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was packed every hour of every day that I was down there. There was never, like, downtime.
Jeez, man, at this point, they're going to have to, like, rent out whatever arena is supposed to house a potential NHL franchise there.
Yeah, until that gets built, though, they might actually have to rent, like, one of UNLV's stadiums, like their basketball stadium or something, for the finals day, at least.
Yeah,
because... Especially, like, because what they did was, Ultra was all Friday. Like, Friday was just Street Fighter Day.
Yeah.
And they also did Blaze Blue pools and finals on Saturday, or on Friday. Those were, like, the only two things going on, and just those two games alone packed both halls.
Was it Blaze Blue or Persona?
It was Persona. Sorry, did I say Blaze Blue?
You said Blaze Blue.
Oh, my bad.
I got excited because I was actually sad that there was, no main tournament. There was just the Anime Evo.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like, even though Persona was a main game, quote unquote, it wasn't really. Like, they put the finals, they put the whole, everything from pools to finals on Friday. It was done in like the afternoon.
Yeah.
They basically put it on when nothing else important was running, which is
Yeah,
a little unfair to Persona, but it also had like the lowest signups, I think.
Yeah, I think it was only maybe 600 or 700 people.
It wasn't even that, I don't think. It was
Oh,
like
was it? Wow.
450 or 500.
Yeah, I've actually been struggling trying to find the actual attendance numbers. I don't know if they've released them yet.
I think they might have before Evo happened, but yeah, no, the actually speaking of Persona, the Persona finals were really good. I caught those on Friday. Because I think one American in the finals, I want to say, or no, that was Guilty Gear. I think the Persona finals were all Japanese.
Yeah, I'm looking at the names. There was a couple of nice burst guys.
Oh, dude, like there were literally 4 of the top 8 were wearing Nice Burst t-shirts. I'm not kidding. Like that was the first thing I noticed during the Persona top 8 was that guy's wearing a Nice Burst shirt, and that guy is, and that guy is. Like even guys who weren't, who didn't have Nice Burst tags, were wearing the Nice Burst shirts. I see Lord Knight and Banana Ken both made top 16, but yeah, I think all of the top 8 in Persona were Japanese. I'm a little sad that the Teddy players, neither of them won because I main Teddy.
I tried to play him. Like I ended up having a lot more fun playing Akihiko.
Yeah, I like
But-
Teddy because he plays kind of like Faust.
Yeah,
Like he's unpredictable and weird.
I think that's why I don't play him.
Yeah.
Hey, a Teddy in the top 3 though. I'll take that.
Plus
And-
his heavy normal is fucking godlike. It's
Right.
such a good poke. That baseball bat goes for miles.
Yeah, the hitbox it's pretty much a full screen,
Yeah.
or it may as well be at this point.
It's like 3/4 of the screen long. It's awesome.
And a Ken Amada player, the dog wins the
Ugh.
championship.
God. Makes me so salty. That's the one thing where I was like, oh, come on. Really? Worst character in the whole Persona franchise. And somebody wins with him.
Yeah, I was kind of sad to see that got the shaft as it pertained to scheduling.
Yeah, but I mean, that happened to Persona the last time they were there, which I don't know if that's just... I don't know if Evo necessarily did that because they figured, well, we did it to him last time, they'll understand if we do it to him again, or what, or... But...
I'll be very honest, I was surprised that even it was like a main game at Evo when they announced that back in January.
Yeah. I think it was just because it was the newest Arc System Works game that wasn't Guilty Gear,
Yeah,
pretty much.
but I was sad I missed the entire finals and I haven't tried to troll through Reddit trying to find the stream unlock thing. What's the word I'm looking for? Son of a bitch.
Upload?
Yeah. But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so you post like they'll have their info already logged in, so you can just kind of watch the stream without having to pay for the subscription.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like they did with AGDQ.
Yeah, well, I've seen people uploading the top 8s over the course of, like, the last couple days.
Yeah, so
So you might check out YouTube and look for it.
Yeah, because I know like the next day all of Ultras were up on on Capcom's YouTube.
Yeah, but yeah, let's see. In other Evo news, let's see. Zero took Smash for Wii U. I think Zero's a Japanese player.
South American.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Zero is, I believe that is his, I want to say 7th or 8th consecutive major win.
Nice. Guy's on a roll.
Yeah, well, at CEO, Jabali actually took out a bounty on his head
Hit.
that a couple of people actually matched, and there was like $1,500 at stake just to put him in losers.
Wow.
Because I had Kid Goggles, my friend here, one of the top players in the Northeast, on the show a few weeks ago, and that was one of the big things we were talking about was Zero and his Diddy Kong.
Nice.
I will confess that I don't really know much about the competitive Smash thing enough to give it really in-depth time here on the podcast. Maybe I'll have Kid Goggles on here and I'll have them harp about it because I don't necessarily follow Smash.
Yeah, probably be a good idea.
Yeah, so as not to offend the Smash players because I know many of them and I do enjoy watching Smash every now and again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like footsies on crack though. When there's like someone's trying to get in on somebody, you're trying to follow like molecules around like one of the models. It's almost like watching Marvel.
Speaking of Marvel, one of the uh one of the beautiful things that happened. It so off stream. First of all of the gods were eliminated off stream, which in itself is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Partly because Marvel kind of got shafted a little bit in favor of Smash this year. Like while Marvel was doing its like quarters and semis, Smash was on the main stage, the main screen, and Marvel was in one corner of the secondary hall, essentially, because they had it split up into like the big like main stage hall and then another like a second hall for like pools and stuff
yeah.
and vendors and whatnot. And Marvel's quarters and semis were being done in the secondary hall. Off stream, Chris G lost to RF. I think that might have been the match that that eliminated him. If it wasn't the one where he got knocked out of winners. And there's actually YouTube video of this, which is how I know about it. But God, I was probably like 30 or 40 feet away when it happened, which is funny. Chris G lost to RF, who made it into the top eight. And oh, this beautiful YouTube video. You see him lose, and he just throws his stick on the ground and like throws his headset off and just sits there and cries. And it's beautiful. Chris G's just crying. He's so salty. And meanwhile, RF is like screaming in Japanese about how excited he is. Like his Japanese friends are all like high-fiving him and stuff, and Chris G's just like losing his shit. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I think the only god-killing match that made it on stream, and I stumbled across it by accident because there was two Marvel streams going on.
Yeah.
I turned on the other one because I wasn't at my PC. I was actually laying in bed, so it was I was watching on my Xbox, and you can't multi-twitch like I do on my PC.
Yeah.
Or like we were doing at the at AGN, we had our Evo watch party all weekend. Like the store was hopping every day, food everywhere, and we had the wall of Evo, two 40-inch TVs and two 32-inch TVs, all with one of the streams on it, or more. Once you get to my PC, but I ended up turning on the stream, and it was Justin Wong versus King Blue River.
Oh yeah.
And Wong was up. That was when Wong was still up 2-1, and I caught the end of it when when Wong got dropped to 2-2, and I mean KBR started popping off after that, and there's a really annoyed look on Justin's face, like, dude, can we play the fifth match? Like seriously?
Big bodies.
Team Big Bodies.
Big bodies. Dude, you have no idea how excited I am that Kane Blue River won. That this chubby Chilean motherfucker took Hulk and fucking Sentinel and Hagar.
Nobody plays that motherfucker, and I love it.
Oh, dude, I'm so stoked. And the best part is the gods are all salty as fuck. It's great. Every like longtime American Marvel player is just incredibly salty about it. Like Chris G, Justin, who by the way didn't make it into top 16. F Champ, who also didn't make it into top 16. A lot of the old school players like Clockwork. I know Golden Boy was really salty about it. Apology Man. All of them were so fucking salty about Kane Blue River winning, and it feeds me and makes me happy.
Everybody here in Western New York was pulling for him because just before Toryuken, KBR actually stopped into Buffalo to their weekly.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of people got to match up against him, and honestly, that really started like when we wanted to try to revive Marvel here in Western New York.
Yeah. That's the funny part is like people are complaining about, oh, Marvel's dead and Marvel's dying.
No.
And
How?
yeah.
Did you hear the crowd? Did you hear the hype on Finals Day?
Oh, dude.
Did you
know
see all the popping off? How do you tell me Marvel is dead right now?
And the funny part is all the gods complain about Marvel, and then Fresh Blood finally gets into the Marvel top 8, and they complain about the Fresh Blood. It's hilarious. Like, there was so much salt from American Marvel players, and I love it. And you know what the best part is? In between his winners final and grand finals matches, I high-fived Kane Blue River.
Oh, did you rush the stage?
No, but I was in the crowd, I was in my seat, which my friend Ken and I camped out. Like we got to the venue at like 7 to wait around until they opened the doors to get a good spot in line so we could get really good seats for the whole day for Sunday. And Kane Blue River came down the aisle and we were at the end of the aisle and he was like shaking hands with people and stuff and I like point at him like, "You're the man." And he comes over and I high five him. And then he goes and wins fucking Marvel.
You touched a new Marvel god.
I know. Dude, that's not even the best part. That's not even the best hand my fucking hand touched this weekend.
Maybe that's where you got your cold from.
Maybe. I wouldn't even be salty if it was Kane Blue River. Because here's the really good part. So, here's a bit of news that we should probably maybe cover. Pepe Day, everyone's favorite fuerte. Everyone's favorite fuerte if you want to get into the cooking and the super dynamic time. He's now sponsored by Mad Catz. And this happening led to one of the awesomest things that's happened to me in a while. Because Pepe Day got sponsored by Mad Catz, while I was standing in line to play Street Fighter V, I ended up Googling whether the MCZ tag was just a mistake because somebody saw him wearing the shirt, or if he was actually sponsored, or what was going on. So I got Mad Catz Evo site, where they had, kind of their hub for like what we're doing at Evo and check out our booth. And they had a schedule of events. This was at 7:15 on Saturday. On their schedule, 7:30 Saturday night, was a meet and greet and signing with Daisuke Ishiwatari, the creator of Guilty Gear. Yes way! He was in the US for Anime Expo and he just stayed for like an extra week and came to Las Vegas to watch Guilty Gear.
Dude, that is awesome.
I know! And I found out about it 15 minutes before he was supposed to do it. So I just booked out of the Street Fighter line, went to the Mad Catz booth, and I was like 6th in line to see him. And yeah, I got a poster, and he signed it, and he shook my hand, and I told him I was a really big fan of his games, and he was just perfect and beautiful. And, like, I've been playing this guy's games for at least 10 years of my life. Like, 11 now, actually.
Yeah.
Like, Guilty Gear is the fighting game that got me into fighting games. It's like the most influential game on me as a gamer, probably just ever. And I got to shake the hand of the guy that made it. Ah!
I think that's like the like girliest I've ever heard you like geek out about something. Like, yeah!
He was so pretty. His hair was so good.
I'm really jealous of Japanese people with long hair. Like, it's always so long and flowing. Like
it's like Rikio.
Yeah.
They're all like that, and it's great. But no, Daisuke was super nice. He was really cool. I think he got to say a little bit of something on finals day after Guilty Gear, before Guilty Gear or something. But
yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I missed like the first 4 or so matches of Guilty Gear.
Oh man, did you catch the Woshige moment?
Of course I did.
Oh yeah.
In multiple forms, both live and the fact that we're so esports now, we're making Sports Center.
Yeah, that blew my mind that it actually made it to ESPN. Because like I can see it being posted on Kotaku and Polygon and even Game Informer, but ESPN, of all places, to cover not even Street Fighter, like a moment from an anime game. We esports now. Also, Woshige is my new favorite player. Like, that was just too good.
It was such a good match. He had so much going for him, and then how it happened, it was just one combo that took full life bar.
And the thing is, I was in exactly the same boat as he was. Like, when he stood up, when he won that round and stood up, I was on my feet and screaming and clapping. Like, I was just as excited, and like, people say, oh, Woshige doesn't know how to count. Nobody knows how to count in that situation. The commentators didn't even know how to count in that situation. It took until, Ogawa was like sitting there and starting the next round for people to realize, oh crap, that's only one round. Man, that was funny. And it was great because after that happened, people liked Woshige more than they liked the one American who made Guilty Gear's top 8. Like, people cheered USA for that guy, whatever his name was.
Whatever.
That shouldn't be that mean. I think Zidane. That's right. He was tied for 7th. He's a Leo player. But, people cheered USA for him when he played. But every time Woshige got up to bat after that match, it was just, if he won a round, it was, Woshige! Woshige! If he won a game, Woshige! If he lost a round, it was, Woshige! Woshige! Like, people just loved him. Dogata, also a fan favorite. Unfortunately, I think he got knocked out to... Well, he made it into winners, I want to say, and then lost his 2 matches to just go straight into elimination.
Yeah, he's done the tied for 5th club.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. Initially I was really pulling for Dogata, especially after last year. So I was sad to see him get beat the way he did. But yeah, watching Woshige and like his air mobility, like not only was he so personable and charming and cute when he was just laughing off that whole pop off, like legitimately his Milia scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, and shit, like,
I've never seen such. Oh, what's the line? I've never seen such finger speed before. Oh wait, that's Mike Tyson. Sorry, I've never seen such finger speed before.
Yes.
That's more along the lines. But yeah, dude, like Woshige's Milia is unbelievable.
Yeah, like that's
I didn't know you could move like that in that game.
She's quick, and like I picked up Exurd when it was on like the Epic sale maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, where it was on sale for like $15 on PSN.
Oh dang.
I'm trying really hard to get into it, but I have been playing, Plus R, and honestly I've been playing too much Blaze Blue.
Yeah.
So going from something that speed to the speed of Exurd is it's like going from an anime game to playing Street Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, I really
my main is a different player now. I was an Axel main for Plus R.
Oh.
And now he's a charge character.
Yeah, he got some weird changes. Let's see. I guess for the sake of documentarianism, I should probably tell people how I did. So I entered 3 games, Persona, Guilty Gear, and Street Fighter. I didn't even show up to my Persona pool because it was an 8 a.m. pool.
I was going to say, it was the fact that everything started at 8 a.m. factor into that?
Yeah, 2 of my pools were 8 a.m. It was Guilty Gear and Persona were both 8 a.m. pools. I skipped Persona because I haven't touched that game in 4 months. But now I'm kind of regretting it because one of I was hanging out with my Ken. Oh, God. It's going to be confusing when I tell other stories later. I was hanging out with my friend Ken, and one of his friends entered Persona just for fun, and he went like 4-2 in his pool. And this is a guy who hadn't touched the game since Arena.
Holy shit.
So now I wish I'd entered my pool because I probably would have done okay. But yeah, I skipped Persona. Street Fighter, I went 0-2, and I didn't even take a round off anybody.
Ugh.
But, like, asterisk, my first match was against the guy who got out of our pool in winners. So I don't feel so bad about not being able to do anything to him. And my second match was against a Balrog player. And that's just a matchup that I haven't really had a chance to practice at all.
Yeah, it's kind of where I am anytime I encounter a Vega.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like my training partner, my friend Ken, he's over the years, or over the last year, he's played Chun-Li, Cammy, a little bit of Vega, Hugo when he wants to troll me, and Zangief when he really wants to troll me. But yeah, I just don't know anything about the Balrog matchup because I don't play random people online. So I don't feel like I leveled up over the last year, but other people leveled up even more than I did. So,
that's about right. That's kind of where like I've sort of dropped Ultra since 5 is going to be the go-to when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm not worried about playing Ultra as like a competitive game anymore because We'll get to 5. We'll get there. But first, so I had Sako in my Guilty Gear pool.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I didn't end up fighting him, but he was there. And there was also, weirdly, at Evo, there were like 5 other people who looked exactly like Sako that weren't Sako. Because, like, whenever I saw Sako, he was wearing a Hori shirt because he's sponsored by Hori, and his wife was always there with their baby, and, like, you know, his kind of entourage, like his translator, his friend or something. So I always knew when I saw Sako, but I'd see these guys walking around in different t-shirts who have, like, the same hair and the same chin, and I'm like, is that Sako? And I'd see somebody on stream, it's like, is that Sako? And it'd just be some other guy. But, yeah, Grandpa Fighting Games himself. He's basically not exactly the Japanese Valle, but yeah, Sako was in my Guilty Gear pool, and I went 0-2 in Guilty Gear, but the best way I can put it is that I don't feel bad about my Guilty Gear performance because I got to play the game the way I wanted to. Like,
So,
with Street Fighter... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so personal victory.
Yeah, like, with Street Fighter, I play the game, I lose, and I don't feel like I get anywhere, and it just... Street Fighter's frustrating to me to play.
Yeah,
but
I totally agree.
With Guilty Gear, like, I got beat, but I didn't feel like I was getting bodied. You know, like, I felt like I made some good reads, you know, I got some decent rounds in, even if I didn't win most of them, the majority of them. But I got to actually play the game, and I enjoyed myself doing it. So I don't feel too bad about my Guilty Gear performance, even though I lost. And honestly, like, I wasn't expecting to do better than anybody. You know, I don't expect to win, because I don't honestly put in as much work as a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know how good I am, and I know that it's not, like, top of the line best player ever. And I only had to fight one Elfelt. Which was refreshing, because, my God, so many fucking Americans play Elfelt. It makes me sad.
See, you know who's big in my area is there's so many Leo players.
Oh, yeah, Leo's another popular one. Yeah, there was one Leo in the top 8. I was so happy that there weren't any Elfelts. Like, one of my matches was an Elfelt, the other one was a Slayer, and that guy was really good. And unfortunately for me, like, we had some people who were late to the pool, and since it was an 8 a.m. pool, they kind of had an extra grace period. So my my pool guy, you know, my TO, basically said, you know, if anybody because they have 2 setups for each pool.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for, like, people to show up so we can run matches, like, the TO is just like, hey, if anybody wants to run casuals on this station, you know, go ahead. So I sit down with this guy in a green shirt just randomly who's also there for the pool. I'm like, okay, whatever, and we play some casuals, and he kicks my ass. And we wait around, and they run a few more matches, and finally it gets to loser's bracket, and he calls, like, me and the other guy, and it's the same fucking guy that I just played casuals with. I'm like, oh, well, great. At least I got the read on you.
I hope you had some fiber optic downloading speed.
Oh, God, I wish. No, I'm on DSL when it comes to downloading people. But
so, almost broadband.
Yeah, almost.
Other notable things, Tekken 7 got played.
Yeah, Tekken 7 happened. I heard there was some pretty cool stuff. I don't keep up with Tekken as much. I think the top 8 was mostly Asians, because nobody in America can even play the game yet.
Yeah, basically. At least until apparently Dave and Buster's is getting a few location tests.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Along with some of them might be getting location tests for Pokken.
Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'll be very honest, I've changed my tune on it. I can't wait to play it.
Dude, it's got fucking Gengar. It's the second best Pokemon ever is in that game, so...
Who's the first best?
Haunter, duh!
I didn't even get a chance to finish.
Haunter's the best Pokemon, Gengar's the second best, Ghastly's the third best, and then anyone else doesn't get a golden fight stick, so it doesn't matter.
I love that those were the prizes!
You know what I loved more? That they gave them to the Smash guys.
That's right!
They're all standing up there like, what do I fucking do with this thing?
I haven't looked on eBay or Craigslist yet.
Yeah, I have a feeling they might show up. Like 6 of them might end up on Craigslist at some point or eBay. Because yeah, I didn't even think about it until I actually saw it, but I just kind of expected the Evo organizers to get somebody to like paint some GameCube controllers gold or something. And nope, they just got the same sticks as everyone else. Like, hey, here's a like 15-pound box that you can't use for the one game you play. Have fun. I'll be honest though, if I had one of those and I was a Smash player, I'd probably just sell it.
Yeah, that's it,
You
that,
get like
or maybe they're
400
trying to
bucks.
convert Smash players to traditional fighters.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't it be nice? Well, I guess not. I'd rather. I don't know. I shouldn't talk so much shit on Smash, as easy as it is to do.
But yeah,
But
no, Tekken 7 was really Japan versus Korea.
yeah, which is about how it always is with like the 3D fighters.
Um,
Um,
Killer
Killer
Instinct.
that comeback, the one I heard about that I didn't actually watch the Killer Instinct top 8 because it was on Saturday and I was doing other stuff. But I heard there was a really good comeback. It was like I think Sleep or one of the other players. It was
Yeah,
either somebody playing against Sleep or
yeah, I forget who it was. All I know is that I think Domi. It wasn't the comeback, but I know he did pull off an infinite mid
oh,
match
really interesting.
with apparently Cinder. He's got like that move where he'll pop you up and then he can just keep throwing the ball straight up in the air, uppercut, straight up in the air, uppercut.
Oh,
That was all I
Huh.
really got to see of Killer Instinct because our feed was kind of cutting in and out.
yeah.
But we saw the infinite. We're like, what?
Wow, I wonder if that was intentional because Cinder had an infinite in KI too. I think, if I remember right.
God, that's got to go way back for that one.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like fighting game history or lore, if you will. I think it was KI2 or whatever if it was KI Gold or
It would have been KI2 because KI Gold, for some reason, they didn't put Cinder in.
okay, so yeah, KI2, if I remember right, Cinder had an infinite in that game, and Nintendo because Rare and Nintendo didn't want the game to be unbalanced. They had to send a team of techs out across the US to every single KI2 machine in the country to replace the boards with updated ones that had, the infinite patched out essentially. Because it was the 90s and you couldn't connect those things to the internet. And it cost them
Remember,
thousands and thousands of dollars to do it.
remember when that was something that had to be done, that there was no patches, there was just replace the board in the machine.
Yeah, them's was the days.
Uh,
Good old Neo Geo era.
yeah. But, yeah, Killer Instinct was actually, from what I understand, a pretty... It was fun to watch. I can't wait till it's on PC so I can understand more of the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I think Killer Instinct, something in the top 8 made Maximilian's like top 5 Evo moments. And I think it was that massive comeback that one of the players had.
Oh, did he finally post that video? I haven't seen it yet. I didn't get a
Yeah.
notification about it.
Yeah, he just posted it like today or yesterday, I think.
Ah, okay.
Speaking
Maximilian.
of, oh god, the Maximilian panel was so good.
Oh, you went to the panel.
Yeah, and I'm so happy I did because I was on the fence about it, but my friend Ken really wanted to go, so I went with him because I didn't have anything else going on, and it was totally worth it. Benny was there. We got to see Benny live and in person.
Awesome.
So right there, that's worth it. I got Benny bucks. They gave out a bunch of freebies like posters and T-shirts and stuff.
Awesome.
And they showed some videos, which was the really. Oh, I got to ask Max about the fucking American translations. So they did a very short Q&A, and thankfully I actually got to ask a question. So I asked Max if he remembered the quote American translation unquote of Heavy Day that he did around the time that Guilty Gear was coming out,
Which I
and
still
if he
sing.
would, yeah, and if he would be doing more quote translations unquote now that the full soundtrack was out. And him and Kenny, or not Kenny, him and Simmons laughed about that when they got asked about it, and he said they might think. He didn't give me like a hard answer, which is understandable because it's a random video he did months ago. But oh, that's funny. But yeah, everybody got a laugh out of that, and I got to ask him a question. And that's not even the best part of the panel. So they showed some videos that I don't think are anywhere on the internet yet, unless somebody recorded it and like pirated the or leaked the videos that they shot. All the Deadpool, Sinister Squad, or Suicide Squad, and like Batman versus Superman trailers for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So one of the videos was for what they didn't say specifically what it was, but it was basically promoting a new Assist Me series that they're going to be doing about probably MKX, because it's basically a giant Predator riff. Where the premise of the video is that Benny has gone missing, and so Steve, Kenny, and Simmons all team up to go find Benny in the woods. And to give you an idea of like the flavor of the comedy is like Simmons shows up at Max's house, and Max is like, "Oh, I can't find Benny," and Simmons is talking to him, and Steve and Kenny show up, and Simmons and Kenny go to like do the Predator like handshake, with like they both go in to do like the like arm wrestle handshake thing, and they just cut straight to the actual shot from the original movie. And it was goddamn hilarious. And they just packed in every like Arnold and Predator reference they could into the video, and that one was hilarious. And I'll definitely be looking forward to that, even though I don't play MKX, just because like there was no game footage in it. It was just pure like them fucking around, shooting stuff, pure theater. And it was beautiful.
Excellent.
And then there was one that they aren't going to release, so unless somebody, leaked it, you'll never see it. Or at least not for a very, very long time. Because it was part of their Smash Assist Me series or coverage. And it involved an Iwata impression, which, yeah, is now considered in bad taste, and they're going to have to come up with a new premise if they continue the series. But outside of the Iwata impression, which, outside of Iwata being dead, was still really funny. Although he didn't say "please understand," which was a little depressing. Please understand. But that video was also really funny. Link ended up taking so they had a guy playing Link, and there were several jokes involving body fluids and the magic eyeglass lens thing. What was that thing called? Had like the lizard eye pupil thing. The Eye of Truth?
That doesn't sound wrong?
Whatever Link's magic and body fluids and Doctor Doom's pony room. But that video was also really funny. Oh, fuck, they're doing WrestleMania with the best friends.
Yee!
Oh, man, I can't wait for them to release that video. You need to see it. They did just a total, like, hype. They did, like, a hype, like, just bad-mouthing reel of them talking shit on all the best friends and talking about how they're gonna, like, take them down and kick their asses and shit. And it was so funny. Like, there were tons of, like, classic wrestling references, too. Like, there was a clear, like, Macho Man and, like, the one suing Gawker.
Hogan?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan. References to him and just all kinds of stuff.
Brother.
It was great. It was so funny. So yeah, look forward to new stuff from Max's stream. That's gonna be funny as hell. Or stream and YouTube channels. So yeah.
Also, speaking of Max, he won a community award, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he won like Evo's equivalent of like a lifetime achievement award, essentially, which was their sort.
he also won it alongside legendary commentator James Chen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think James Chen was Ultra David part of that too? Was
I
it like jointly
bel
awarded?
I believe so because that they didn't put it all on the stream. Like you heard some of the audio. There was just
Yeah.
the Evo logo and the
Yeah,
Street Fighter
James
music.
Chen. I think it was James Chen because I was there. James Chen and Ultra David both were given the award for being outstanding members of the fighting game community, essentially. And they also gave one to Max. And he actually wasn't there when they announced it. So
Yeah.
he had to run up to the stage later, like, after some other stuff had happened. He came up with Benny and they accepted the award. Yeah, it couldn't happen to nicer guys. It was pretty cool to see those guys, finally get, well, not finally. I mean, they get recognition from tons of people in the scene, but getting recognized by Evo is like, hey, you guys are cool. So that was really cool. It's
Yeah.
nice to see them get that kind of recognition.
In MKX news, like this one, I was actually following because I play MKX.
Yeah.
Now that it's working on the PC with much less issue.
Yeah.
Player CR Sonic Fox is the beast of the game.
Oh, yeah.
The fact
Yeah.
that basically every MKX tournament turns into Sonic Fox versus Team Yomi.
Yeah. That's actually what a couple of Ken's friends were joking about. So it was basically top 8, it was basically going to be Sonic Fox versus Yomi. And Sonic
And
Fox came out on top.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. He took out every Yomi player from loser's bracket all the way into winner's bracket and resets Foxy Grandpa for a win because Aaron Black is way too much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Um,
Props to Sonic Fox for winning and not wearing his whole fursuit on
yes,
Sunday.
and yeah, he's wearing the hat and then he's got
A tail.
the MKX toque over the top of it,
Yeah.
which he has to have been sweating his balls off at that point.
Yeah. Chris G was in the top 32. Because apparently he plays NetherRealm games.
Does he really? He does.
Yeah, he
Huh.
won Injustice like last year, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now Sonic Fox is 17-year-old kid. Fucking just wrecking people this game. It's
Yes.
unbelievable. But yeah, I was kind of pulling for Foxy Grandpa, even though he plays Kung Lao, which like apparently a lot of people seem to play.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah. Plus, I think Foxy Grandpa's a funny name.
Right.
I don't follow Mortal Kombat as much, so I was just like, oh, this guy's kind of funny, and he's British.
Yeah. But let's get to the meat of it. The main event of EVO 2015,
Oh
Ultra
yeah.
Street Fighter 4. Overall entrant count this year was somewhere in like the 2500s, right?
I think it was 2,200 people.
Man.
Yeah, which is about 200 more than last year.
That is a road just to get to the top 32.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter Day, like the pool hall, just the room they had just for pools was just absolutely packed on Friday. Like they had to get so many people through just for pools. It was insane. And incidentally, Sako from my Guilty Gear pool, apparently he was tied for 17th in Street Fighter,
Yep.
playing Elena and Ibuki. By the way, everyone plays Elena now. I actually play Elena. And so does everybody else.
I'm trying really hard not to have the same salt that makes me not play Axel in Exurd for Elena, because I'm so used to Third Strike Elena.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, she's definitely different in 4, but yeah, fucking Street Fighter. Oh my god. Fuck Nemo. Fuck Nemo right in the asshole. That guy's such a douche.
yeah.
And it's not even personal. Like, I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he's obviously really good at the game. He made it to 4th place. But having been in the finals hall with the giant PA system and all the audio and whatnot, for the love of God, dude, play someone other than Rolento. It's not even like an I hate Rolento thing at this point. It's that I hate shrill sound effects and clangy metal at 900 decibels.
Yeah.
Like I had to cover my ears during his matches because it was too loud and too harsh.
there's a reason why I hate anyone that plays Strider in Marvel
Oh yeah,
for the same reason.
yeah. He does the same fucking
Zing,
loud.
zing, zing.
Oh god.
Yeah, that all fucking match.
Yeah. My senpai Kazunoko, he makes my kaka. Oh god, that sounds dirty. My senpai Kazunoko, he makes my Kokodo go doki doki. He got tied for ninth, which made me sad. Same same ranking as Daigo and fucking Filipino man. God, I really hate Filipino man. I can't stand that guy, legitimately. Did you see this guy Kindevu, the Elena player?
No, I didn't.
He was really good. He got tied for 13th. I was watching him in like the semis and quarterfinals. He plays Elena, and he's like he looks like a less well put together Justin Wong. Like he's shorter and kind of more fat and slovenly looking, and he had like this he had a Sesame Street T-shirt on all weekend and like pajama pants, and he has the most legit Elena that I've just about ever seen. Like he was really good. He was in the same. He placed in the same, tied for 13th as Xiaohai, Snake Eyes, and Latif. Who, by the way, shout outs to Latif. That guy has scary reactions. Like watching him in the quarters and semis. Holy shit! I I never want to fight Latif ever. Like as much as like other players can be scary. Like obviously Tokido is a legend. Infiltration can play literally anyone on the cast list. Latif was absolutely on top of everything. Like he was brutal. If you were forced to go in against him, he would react to whatever you do. Like guaranteed. He was hot. But getting back to the top eight, because I could talk about like the semis and whatnot for hours.
Wait, a few things I want to mention in the semis. Like I was saying off podcast, I really gave 801 Strider a little further than top 32, just based on his stellar performance at CEO a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, like he honestly for a while there, I thought he might beat my senpai, and thankfully he didn't, because that means Kazunoko got to take a picture with two of the belts, one in each hand. He should have worn them. He didn't wear them this weekend when he was at Evo, which made me sad.
Probably didn't want to keep track of him.
Yeah, I think it would have been funny if he wore one just to like intimidate people. But yeah, 801 Strider did surprisingly poor. He was tied for 17th with like Sako, Shun. I mean, I guess that's pretty good. Like he was in the same level as Pepe Day and Chris T, Fudo. Like he did well. That's the thing, is there's so many people who are so good at this game now that like inevitably people just like people you would expect to be in top 8 just don't make it anymore because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Actually, Hamad, tied for 25th, was in my friend Ken's pool along with Itabashi Zangief.
I was going to say one of the very rare Fei Long players.
Yeah, him and Fudo, they're like the only two it seems like. But yeah, so PR Balrog knocked out a losers by Nemo. That killed the hype. Like for a good chunk of the top 8, everyone in the room was just silent. Because once PR Balrog lost, especially to Nemo with his fucking annoying Rolento noise,
yeah,
nobody cared anymore. Like a lot of the people were there like, oh, the American lost? Well, yeah.
Like I was really pulling for PR Raw just because I think he's taking it back at this point, but I guess he was going to retire, then he wasn't.
I think he's still planning to retire. He's just kind of... I think what he said was after this Evo, he might retire. But if he makes it into Capcom Cup this year, he'll probably go do that. But I think after this year, he might be done. I think he wants to go have a real life. But yeah, I was really sad for Balrog. Knuckledew, the other American player, people were disappointed that he didn't do better. But at the same time, I don't really care that much for Knuckledew.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way about that.
Balrog is really the great American hope in this story.
Yeah,
He and his technically American citizenship, make him like, our boy. He's Puerto Rican, so
Yeah.
he's American enough. Uh, no, I love PR Balrog. Are you kidding? He's a nice guy. My friend Ken actually talked to him on Friday morning while he was waiting to do a stream match, and he was really nice. But yeah, I kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I've never heard of this guy before, and his jury was really good.
Yeah, his jury was scary good.
Yeah, I was really impressed with his jury. The interesting thing is what really brought things back, what brought back the hype in that room, and I didn't believe, if you had told me that an able player could possibly bring the hype at Evo, I wouldn't believe you. But you know what? When Infiltration pulled out his able, it brought back the hype. Especially when I think he beat Nemo with it, if I remember right.
And if I'm also not mistaken, no, the blind pick was in the losers final.
Yeah, the Gamer B match, I believe. The 30-minute match for a first, best of 5 30-minute match.
That was, I think, the first time in Evo history that somebody
they had to pull out the timer.
Yeah, that it was almost a shot clock violation.
Yeah. I don't think that was even in the rules. Like, I don't think they've ever had to deal with that, with somebody sitting on character select, because it's just never happened before. But yeah, once Infiltration beat Nemo with Abel, like, people were back in it. The hype came back to the room. People were excited again. We're like, yes, we don't have to listen to Rolento's bullshit anymore.
Yeah, I think the world just hates Rolento as a character, which I don't disagree.
Well, he's a monster, and he's a cheater. Other people, like, Ryu brings his fists to a street fight. What does Rolento bring? A stick, knives, cables, and hand grenades.
And that fucking DuckTales move.
Yeah, that's tools of war. That guy is a fucking Vietnam vet. He's a war criminal and a psychopath. What's he doing in a Street Fighter game?
Reminding people that Final Fight existed?
We have Poison for that, and she's much better at it. Much easier on the eyes.
Especially all the cosplayers.
Oh, yeah. There were a couple cosplays of Poison, actually. And there was actually a really cute Hugo, which I know sounds weird, but it was a girl Hugo. And she wasn't actually, like, in Hugo shape.
Huh.
Basically, there was a cute girl, like, in a tank top that had, like, the I guess, leopard spots on it, like Hugo's, and she had, like, the chain around her waist and the pants, but she wasn't, like, big and built and burly. Just a cute girl.
Huh.
And yeah, there were a couple Poisons. I saw a jam, actually, at the Guilty Gear's jam at the Daisuke Ishiwatari signing.
Awesome.
There was more cosplay this year than I've ever seen at EVO.
Yeah, I heard the cosplay numbers doubled, including a certain celebrity that went dressed as Vega for the day.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that, but I don't want to get too distracted from the top 8.
Yes.
So yeah, Infiltration and Gamer B. Holy shit.
That was the
heals.
most
4 heals in 1 round. I didn't know you could do that.
She just kept absorbing focus attack and just kept healing.
Oh my god, I love Gamer B so much more now. Like, he wasn't even trying to win the rounds at that point. He was just seeing how many heals he could get off. But god, it was such a good match. Like, the fact that Infiltration had to go through, like, 3 different characters, including Jury, which I didn't know he had. Abel, I didn't know he had. Oh, man. That was amazing.
It even went to the point where Infiltration called for a blind pick.
Yeah. Against a guy who has all of 2 characters. I think just because he wanted to surprise Gamer B with whatever he was picking.
And also props to Gamer B for bringing an add-on into the top 8.
Yeah, like, I'm glad Gamer B didn't play Elena the whole way through. Because his Adon is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Adon as a character, but I like watching him play Adon because he does crazy shit with him. And yeah, like, that final, those grand finals, that was emotional. That was, like, beyond hype to the point of, like, just pure, raw human drama.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, leaving, the reset and everything behind, the fact that, like, it came almost down to the last round, and then Momochi's fight stick broke.
And yeah, that is where
That's where it all really like the NFL is going to make a commemorative film about that in 20 years.
yeah, it's yeah, we're gonna have like esports films.
Yeah.
It came down. It was for those that didn't watch it. First of all, if you didn't watch it, why? It's on YouTube somewhere. It's
Yeah,
25
watch
minutes
it.
long. Gorgeous fight footage.
It is truly a thing to behold. Like this is the this year's top 8 was probably like the best Street Fighter I've ever seen.
It was. It was all top level, all hype, all the time.
It was amazing.
But
But
it comes down to the decisive game 5.
in the reset set, this is it. Either one of them could walk away with the championship.
Goes the first round. Momochi dominated the first round.
Yeah.
Or no,
Second,
no, it was Gamer Beat dominated the first round, wasn't it?
no,
No,
Momochi won the
that's
first
right.
round
I'm having it backwards.
because in the second round his fight stick broke. It disconnected and auto paused the game, forcing by the rules forcing Momochi to give up that round. So they're down to the very last round of the very last game. And because, understandably, Momochi didn't want to risk having his stick break again and force him to give up the championship over a technicality, they waited for a replacement to arrive. Like, actually, Team EG's, as I found out later, Team EG's owner and manager who was there was walking through the crowd yelling, just asking if anyone had a Razer fight stick.
He shouldn't have had to go very far. All he had to do was go find infiltration.
Yeah.
Exact same stick, and it wouldn't have taken 5 minutes. Like you're in like the fighting game convention of the world. There's vendors everywhere. There's buttons everywhere. How did it take 5 minutes?
I don't know, but you know what they even did? Like, he didn't even end up using a Razer stick. He used a Mad Cat stick to play the last round, and I think what happened, and this is why it's heartbreaking, is that it broke their flow. Like it interrupted everything, and I think it threw Momochi, or not Momochi, I think it threw Gamer B like off his game.
It really did. It took kind of both of them out of it, and it turned into a battle of who was going to get back into the swing of the game first.
Yeah, which ended up being Momochi, and he won
By a convincing fashion. It was just punish combo like that 12 hit Evil Ryu chock full of one frame Link combo.
Yeah, it was harsh. Like, I'm really happy for Momochi that he won, because now he's got $33,000 to spend on probably buying like chocolate and stuff for Chocoblanca. And you know what? Bruce is engaged now too, apparently.
Is he really?
Yeah, did you see the girl dressed as the Tekken Kung Fu girl that was hugging him after the
Yeah.
She's his fiance now.
No shit.
Yeah, after he won like 20 grand. Because he still walked away with like a 20% of the pot. So he still got like, 15 or 20 grand out of it. So, yeah, GamerB proposed to his girlfriend who was cosplaying. She was the girl that was crying and hugging him at the end and whatnot. And, yeah, GamerB won $33,000 all told.
And GamerB also gets an auto-in to the Capcom Cup this year.
Yep, since Momochi was already qualified, GamerB automatically gains that qualification. Thank God.
He gets the pocket trophy.
Yeah. And he still gets a golden fight stick. But yeah, it's funny actually, because apparently Razer stopped sponsoring EG like a month ago. And so now people are joking about how Razer, like people in the fighting game community just found this out. And so they're joking about how, like, after the grand finals snafu, that, oh shit, EG's dropping Razer, dur. But yeah, I get the feeling Razer's not going to sell a lot of Aatrox sticks anytime soon.
No, one of my favorites, like, people were started posting. I mean, the internet blew up with this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
in typical internet fashion. One of my favorite was, I think it was an Amazon review or something like that.
Oh, God.
And somebody typed in, it's like, "Hi, Razor, I'm looking for a stick that's going to break down in the middle of the grand finals of the largest tournament of the year. Can you help me?" That moment, like, we were all like, "Oh, he's getting, like, what?" Like, I was standing on my chair when it happened. I jumped into my chair.
Oh, dude, I was out of my chair so much on finals day. Like, $70 bought me the seat, but I only ever needed the edge.
Like, I Tom Cruised during the grand final.
Oh, yeah. Shit, not even the grand... Like, I was out of my seat and freaking out during Guilty Gear, and it just never stopped.
You were even standing on the edge of your seat for Melee?
Well, okay, maybe not Melee. Admittedly, this year's Melee finals were less boring than last year's.
You know, we all commented on that at the Evo party, that Melee was over, what, almost 2 hours?
It was pretty long. Part of that was Hungry Box being a bitch. Because he plays Jigglypuff, which is a really bad matchup against Fox, which is one of the most common characters. So what he does when he plays against Foxes is apparently he just tries to waste the clock, which is 8 minutes per game. Fucking so yeah, that was kind of shitty. People actually booed that when Hungry Box started just like corner grabbing and like staying out of trouble. People booed him.
As well they should have.
But yeah, no, there was some good moments in this year's top 8 of Melee. There wasn't another Axe Pikachu destroying a Fox player moment in a minute, you know?
Yeah.
But Plup pulled out a Samus, which I didn't know he played. And that got me pretty hyped, because I, like, ever since 64, I've always pretty much mained Samus and, like, Link. So I was excited to see a Samus in the top 8. That was cool to see Plup winning with Samus.
Yeah.
Mango's always fun to watch, although watching him commit suicide twice in one game, not so hype. Funny, but not hype.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Melee top 8 was pretty good. I kept my eyes open for most of it. Mortal Kombat top 8. As a non-Mortal Kombat player myself, I didn't really know exactly what I was looking at, but it was pretty exciting. Like Street Fighter, Marvel, and Guilty Gear were just pure insanity.
Oh yeah.
I had screamed my lungs and my throat out and just blown out all my shit by the end of Guilty Gear.
And you still had 4 games left.
Oh, God. It was brutal. But, yeah. So getting back to cosplay and other EVO stories. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis was at EVO, dressed as Vega.
Yep. And I believe her husband was dressed as a doctor from one of the Tekken films.
Yeah. Like a friend of hers. There was another woman that was with her who was dressed as Makoto, who I actually like saw. Like she walked right past me, and I saw her son, or Jamie Lee Curtis's son, who was dressed as DJ, hilariously. And not just DJ, but like the super Jamaican outfit DJ.
Like film DJ?
Like the one with like the hat and
yeah,
like
okay.
the Jamaican colors and like the hoodie and no shirt under it. That DJ. But
the
yeah,
costumes, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole Lee Curtis family was there, so that was cool. And I saw her out of costume too, and she was wearing like like a hat and sunglasses to try and be incognito. Thankfully, people seemed to be pretty respectful. Like when I could see her around the con, she didn't seem to be getting hassled by people or anything. So
yeah, it seems like the place really. I mean, because there's so many like gaming celebrities there that
yeah, like I was more starstruck by like, oh hey, there's Justin Wong sitting in the cheap seats with us filthy commoners because he didn't make it into Marvel Top 8. And there's Ryan Hart, who isn't good at anything anymore, but he's very recognizable. And
true, actually.
I hate to be mean, but it's kind of true. Oh, I beat Bonchan and Taquito. I beat both of them to registration.
Wow, I got like super excited for you.
Not at a game, but I beat them in line. I got in line, and then they were like 10 people behind us. And so they had this whole snake thing going through the room to like make it so the line didn't stretch out into the casino. So every time we snake around, it's like, oh, hey, there's Taquito and Bonchan hanging out and talking to each other. And then we'd get kind of away from them, and we'd snake around again and be, oh, hey, there's Bonchan and Taquito, though, again. I beat Sherry, too. I beat Sherry Genix, also to registration. But, yeah, there was a lot of cosplay. Like I said, there was a jam. I saw a really good Faust cosplayer. I was
Really?
actually, yeah. It's funny. I was talking to some guys from New York in line for the Guilty Gear signing, and we saw this Faust cosplayer, and like the first thing we all noticed was that he had a really nice paper bag for his head. Like the paper bag he had on was legit. It wasn't all like flat and crinkly or nothing. It was like the right shape. It had the right amount of kind of softness without being like too creased or too beaten up. But his cosplay was really legit. Yeah, a few poisons, and they were alternate costume poisons too, which they were that slinky dress where she's got the leg tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that poison.
Huh.
Yeah, there was a Ryu and a Ken because of course. Reiketsu, one of the pro Japanese players, actually dressed as Vega for at least one of the days. I think Friday. He also folded in half when he lost, which was kind of funny. Sad, but funny.
Speaking of cosplay, was Dora anywhere to be found?
I didn't see Dota this year, and I was very sad. Because I was really hoping I'd see him again, and that he'd be dressed up as like Bang or Strider or something. But I think he might have gone for the Arc Revo and the Anim Evo Blaze Blue tournaments, but those were side tournaments, and I didn't really get a chance to see as much of either of those.
Yeah, and the streams were wonky.
Yeah, a lot of
If
the side tournaments had a hard time.
if it wasn't an Evo stream, it didn't have the bandwidth to stream at low quality.
Ouch.
Like we were trying to watch Joshua's stream to watch any of Anim Evo, and it'd be
Yeah.
like 5 minutes buffer.
Hopefully they recorded it on the Evo end so that they can at least like upload the replays or something.
Yeah.
Upload what they were trying to put out. Because yeah, I really wanted to see like the KOF top 8 that they were, because they did a lot of stuff at the Mad Catz booth. Like they did KOF at the Mad Catz booth. They
They
did
did Vampire Savior at the Mad Catz booth.
yeah, and I think Skullgirls,
Because
and
Beowulf, that's why.
yeah, everybody loves Beowulf.
I am having so much fun with Beowulf.
I haven't quite wrapped my head around him yet. I've messed around with him a little bit, but I haven't quite got him to click yet.
Yeah, and
I have been having fun with Robo Fortune though. Robo Fortune is
I actually
joyful.
day of Evo we actually downloaded Robo Fortune, and I didn't get a chance to really mess around with her.
Oh man, she's fun, and she has a Gundam color scheme that just tickles me.
Level 1 Gundam, 1 hour.
But yeah. Oh fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh, right, my Mike Ross story.
Yee.
So every year at Evo, at least this year and last year, probably the year before too, maybe, Mike Ross and Gootecks do a meet and greet. Where, it's usually last year it was at the at one of the t-shirt booths, the one that makes their Excellent Adventures t-shirts.
Yeah.
This year it was at the Mad Catz booth. Oh, Vampy Bit Me was also there. Cosplayer Vampy Bit Me, and she dressed as Leona from KOF on Saturday.
Sick.
Yeah, it was really cool. She did a pretty good job. She also dressed as like casual Morrigan, not like like actual fighting game Sprite Morrigan, but like the kind of like the white shirt and pants that she transforms into.
Oh yeah,
That-
for her win
that
pose,
fits.
yeah.
Yeah, she dressed as casual Morrigan and Leona, and I was really happy with the Leona cosplay because Leona's my favorite. She's always on my team in KOF whenever I can put her on. I like Leona, but Yeah, so last year at Evo, Mike Ross and Gootecks did a meet and greet. So I had gotten an E Honda figure, one of the Kid Robot E Honda figures, prior to when they were doing the meet and greet. So as a funny joke, I took the figure, which came with like a little sort of like collectible trading card thing with E Honda on it. I took it with me to the meet and greet, and I waited in line. I got up there and I shook their hands and told them I was a big fan of the show, and they were very polite. They were very nice. Mike Ross is not he's shorter than I thought he would be.
And they're actually both
He's
kind of
not
the
like
same.
super short, but I don't know. I think it's because he always sits closer to the camera than Gutex, so I expected him to be like bigger. And I should just do the rest of the podcast in snake voice.
We reached Marfa.
So I met Mike Ross and Gootecks. And they were really nice. And I pulled out the Honda figurine and asked if they could sign the card. And I gave it to him, and Mike Ross just looks at this little Honda and he's like, why's Honda gotta look so sad? And Gootecks just died laughing. Like he thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. Mike was salty. It was great. He signed it, and Gutex signed it, and they shook my hand, and it was very nice. They were both cool guys, and I had the rest of my Evo experience. And this year, at the Arcade Shock booth, they had these gachapon machines. Which, if you don't know what gachapon is, it's the Japanese equivalent of the little like capsule machines that you see at like grocery stores and pizza places and stuff. Where
Okay.
you put a quarter in and you get like a little collectible toy out. Like you used to get like sticky hands from them. Those like weird gooey rubber hands that would stick to walls and stuff, and like little novelties and toys and
And they would attract every hair in the world.
yeah. So in Japan, those things, because it's Japan, those things are legit as fuck, and they all have all kinds of crazy like toys and cell phone charms that you can get from them, and they're fucking expensive. It was $3 to get one gachapon toy. And one of the gachapon machines they had, a couple of the machines actually, they had this series of Street Fighter, like little tiny Street Fighter figurines that were the original playable characters in the Japanese like submission pose, where you're kind of down on your hands and knees, like begging for mercy, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that little like hunched over pose. And it was like, it was like there was my favorite is actually the Dalsim one because his arms are way stretched out when he's doing it. There's Dalsim, Ryu, Chun-Li, and Honda. So I got a Honda figurine on Friday on my first try on the gachapon machine. And, I get back to the hotel, which was a half-mile walk, by the way, because the venue wasn't cheap this year. So I stayed at someplace cheaper. So I take my half-mile walk. I put the gachapon in my suitcase, and on Saturday we get back to the events. We get back to Evo, and I find out that Gutex and Mike Ross are doing another meet and greet. So I spent 15 fucking dollars trying to get another Honda,
God.
and then walked the half mile back to my hotel when I didn't get one, and walked half the mile back, and I was just in time to make it to the meet and greet. And so my friend Ken ended up also getting a couple gachapon, and he got a Dalsim. And so the two of us, finally, we get up to Mike Ross and Gutex, and we shake their hands and we say hello, and we talk to them a little bit, and we're like, "How you guys doing? Oh, we're great. We love you. Et cetera, et cetera. Love the show." And so I look at Mike Ross and I'm like, I don't know if you remember me from last year, but I had a little Honda Kid Robot figurine that I had you guys sign. And Mike looked at me, and he kind of looks at me for a second, and he's like, I remember that. And I'm like, oh, I was so happy that he remembered signing it. He's like, yeah, I remember doing that. And I just, like, out of my pocket, I'm just like, so they have these gachapon machines here this year, and I just wanted you to have this. And I just gave him the Honda, the little sad Honda in the submission pose. And he looks at it, and he's like, Honda still looks so sad.
That's awesome.
And Gutex just like cracked up, and it was super funny. And my friend Ken gave Gootecks the Dalsim one, and everybody laughed. And then they gave us free signed posters.
Awesome.
So, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, listening to their commentary on Street Fighter, because they were the first broadcasters.
Yeah.
They got to do the morning show.
Oh, God.
And the fact that Mike Ross and Gootecks got to commentate 801 Strider welcoming an 11-year-old kid to EVO.
Oh, man.
Like, no mercy.
Like, I honestly can't wait to go back and watch, like, the stream archives and, like, YouTube uploads of EVO. Because I couldn't hear any of the commentary. Yeah, because they don't want to give players an unfair advantage and so on and so forth. So getting to rewatch it with, like, all the different commentaries is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, like,
I think James Chen actually cried at the end of Street Fighter.
I couldn't really hear it very well because we were all yelling and screaming like idiots.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, yeah, he actually broke into tears at how this has evolved.
Yeah. And apparently people are starting to get into at least the training mode on the beta. Which,
let's discuss that.
Yes. So I haven't been able to play Street Fighter V today. I've been able to play Title Screen, the video game, today. So far.
Any drop frames?
No. It was very responsive. There was no input lag, no frame drops, no input drops. When it said press any key and I pressed any key or pressed any button, it went right to the attempting to log in, and then the black screen, and then unable to connect or disconnected. Which is understandable. I mean, honestly, like, at this point, it's a pretty well-known thing that games just don't launch well.
Yeah. Look at the Batman Arkham Knight PC release.
Yeah. Batman Arkham Knight, any Warcraft expansion, anything from Blizzard, really.
Mortal Kombat's PC release.
Yeah. Launches just don't go well for games. There's too many factors. But on the plus side, I did get to play a lot of Street Fighter V at EVO. And it's basically the same. The EVO build should be exactly the same as the beta build. So what I can tell you is that Charlie is fun.
He looks it, and I'm very happy about that, because I was worried, Charlie, he's the guile of this game.
Ha 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 ha! Foolish honky!
What the fuck?
Charlie is so not Guile. If I had to compare him to actual, like, other characters, he's a little bit Rose and a lot Elena. Like, if anything, because a little bit Rose, because he does have a projectile. He's got sonic booms, and he can absorb other characters' projectiles. But the thing is, he has moves. He has moves, and then he has other moves, and then he has more moves. He's got so many fucking moves, it's ridiculous.
Huh.
Like, so Charlie has, his V skill, which allows him to eat projectiles, and which is actually, it's a poke. It does damage. Like, if you hit somebody with it, it'll hurt. So it's not a bad poke. Maybe not as good as, like, his medium kick or some of his other normals, but, oh god, his heavy forward punch is so good. It's, ooh. But, yeah, his V skill absorbs projectiles, which is pretty neat. His V trigger allows him to teleport, which is also pretty neat. It's good for, like, cross-ups and basically playing like Chip Zaniff if you want to.
Like I say, it's a really quick one, too. There's not a whole lot of recovery. It's not like a Bison Warp.
Yeah, and he can, like, do crazy cancels with it, and, like, he can cancel out of certain special moves into his V trigger, which is really neat. But here's the best thing. He has all the kicks. He has kicks for days. Not only does he have a weird, like, backwards, like, reverse flash kick that it kind of works almost like Adon's Jaguar Tooth.
The overhead, right?
Yeah, it works a lot like the overhead, and it's got 3 different strengths, depending on which kick button you use. But then he's got 3 completely different, also, like, quarter circle kick moves that I think I want to say the overhead one, like his main sort of Jaguar tooth, is the one that's closest to an actual flash kick. Is like his quarter circle. Actually, I have it up. Next, I think it's his quarter circle forward is essentially his like flash kick, and then his quarter circle back, depending on what button you use, is radically different. Like a light kick version is kind of like Ibuki's like sort of scythe kick thing that looks kind of like it almost looks like Strider's like sword strikes in the old Strider games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the medium version of it is, I think, it either knocks opponents up or it's another kind of overheady or it's like in front of him. It can probably be used as an anti-air. And then the heavy version, he like kind of jumps up and comes down. It's like they're all completely different looking moves. His Shoryuken is a crazy like command grab. There's a lot of face grabbing in Street Fighter V.
I've noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like Nikali, I mean, Chun-Li's always had a face grab. Nikali is all about face grabs. Charlie has a Shoryuken move where he jumps diagonally like forward and up and then comes down, and I'm not sure if it's an actual hit or a command grab, but the animation, if it connects, is he slams your fucking head into the ground.
There's a lot of that in Street Fighter.
Yeah. And so Charlie just has all these fucking moves on top of projectiles and a pretty cool V skill. Oh, and his super that looks like a fucking fatality.
Yes.
I
that
love
thing
his
looked
super.
nasty.
Oh, dude. Like, it was kind of terrifying in his original trailer when they just cut to black instead of showing the final animation. Like, oh, God. But, yeah, Charlie was the character that I really gelled with in at Evo when I got chances to play the game.
Now, from what you were telling me, Ken is not Ken anymore.
He's very different. He's still a Shoto. Let me establish that. He still throws fireballs. He's still got Shoryukens. But, yeah, he's changed a lot. Like, his light Tatsu is still a regular Tatsu. His medium Tatsu is kind of in between his Street Fighter 4 medium and heavy Tatsus. And then his heavy Tatsu is completely different now. Like, he actually kind of jumps up and does a separate kick. Like, he jumps and does, like, a kick, and then he Tatsus. So his heavy Tatsu is very different in the way it's deployed now. In addition, his Shoryukens are kind of different. His medium Shoryuken's kind of taking over the function of his heavy Shoryuken from Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
Where, you know, in SF4, there's very few reasons why you would do anything other than a heavy SRK with Ken in a lot of situations. Now, a lot of like the anti-air and the wake-ups are probably going to be medium Shoryukens instead of heavies. Because his heavy Shoryuken is almost... It's kind of like Sakura's, where he like starts it up and he does like a couple hits, and then he kind of restarts it and does even more hits. It's interesting, but it's definitely got different properties now, and I think it's his heavy one's got slower startup. It's not like invincible and super fast like it used to be. But the big thing is Ken's V skill. This is where I kind of like... This is what's kind of partly turning me on to Charlie, is Ken's V skill is very kind of weird to me. It seems like it's basically a Fuerte run. Like, that's the easiest way I can describe it. Is you hit his V skill, you know, the two medium buttons, and he starts running. And I think he has to run a couple steps before you can cancel out of the run. But once he does... If you just hold the buttons, he'll run up to the opponent and like try to do basically a medium kick, like a step kick on them or something.
Okay.
But if you press the buttons, he'll start running, and then you can basically do any of his normals. I think you can cancel the run with just about anything. You can cancel it with a throw attempt. You can cancel it with, I think, any of his normals and probably some of his specials. So... I didn't really get the hang of the run while I was at Evo. I only got one game in with Ken before I decided to try the other characters. But His V trigger is kind of weird too, because it activates like his kind of like fiery feet mode where he does really cool stuff, but he has to do the run when he activates V trigger. So it's kind of risky when you want to do it. You have to be careful about activating it. It's not like Ryu's Denjin mode where you can just turn it on and be pretty safe. But yeah, Ken's definitely gone through a lot of changes. He's got really, really sick Tatsu cross-ups now. Like, when you do have his V-trigger mode engaged, his Tatsus get nasty. It's awesome. Everything is on fire. Birdie was more fun than I expected, and I'm disgusted with myself for liking him.
I'm not.
I can't get behind Birdie. I don't know.
Birdie was always one of my pockets back in Alpha 2 and Alpha 3.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, the Alpha games were kind of before my time as a fighting game player, and I don't really like how much of, like, essentially a racist cartoon Birdie kind of is presented as, especially in this game.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, and I will admit, though, like, his gameplay was interesting, it was fun. He's like a ranged grappler. His V skill is really nifty. It's got like 3 different sort of deployments depending on what direction you're holding, where you can like kind of roll a soda can across the ground it's actually a projectile. Like it'll if it hits you, it actually, I don't know if it does damage, but I think it like knocks your character down. He's got a banana peel or at least it at least does like a little bit of stun. Like the soda can will stun you for a second. He's got a banana peel that he can throw on the ground that'll actually get a knockdown if people walk over it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And I think his other one is he just eats and it fills up his V gauge. But yeah, his grapples are interesting, like the whole ranged grapple thing. Birdie was interesting and kind of fun. He's really slow, though. Like, he's slow, he's lumbering. He's definitely like a character with a lot of health and not a lot of mobility. Ryu is Ryu, and he Ryus.
Accurate.
Yeah, the parry isn't as strict as like his parry is actually really different from the third strike parry. It's not as tight with the timing, but it has a whiff animation. Like if you try to parry and your timing is off, or if you just if nothing touches you while you're trying to do it, he actually has like a recovery animation if it doesn't work that people can potentially punish. So it's easier to actually make parries work, but there is a certain amount of risk to them, which I mean there always was, because Street Fighter 3, if you fail your parry, you just walk into an attack. But yeah, I think it'll be easier to get parries off, but that recovery changes their dynamic. He has a chargeable Hadoken in Denjin mode.
That sounds accurate.
I believe it's his super. Like you can actually, if you activate his V trigger to get his Denjin mode, he can charge his Denjin Hadoken critical art. And I can't remember if he could charge his regular fireballs during Denjin mode. I think he can. Who else did I try? I tried Ken, Ryu, Charlie, and Birdie. My friend Ken, and these conversations always get confusing, he tried Chun-Li and Cammy. He was really happy about some of the move changes to Chun-Li's moveset. The fact that Lightning Legs is now a Hadoken motion.
What?
Yeah, Lightning Legs is no longer the pianoing motion, the button pianoing. It's now just quarter circle forward kick.
Interesting.
Yeah, which made Ken really happy because he's just never been able to master the button pianoing. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be in 5. Because I think Capcom is wisely trying to lower the input barrier for people. So like there's not going to be as many things that rely on Shoryuken motions. There's probably not going to be any more pianoing. Heck, I don't even think Birdie has any like half circles. He might have one actually. Yeah, Birdie has 2 moves that are half circles. No full 360s.
Wow.
His critical art is just a double quarter circle forward. Like, they're really bringing down the barrier for input. That was actually, I went to the Capcom panel, so transitioning into that now, or segueing, is one of the big things they talked about was reducing input barriers. There will be no more one-frame links.
I could be a Street Fighter player.
Yeah, you could actually be good at the game. It's all input buffering now. Characters
that is
like
awesome.
yeah, like Charlie has like fucking like 9 target combos now. Like every character has a bunch of target combos. And a lot of things are input buffering now rather than being one-frame links. So now you have like 2 or 3 or 4 frames at least to put in a lot of buttons. And that's for the tight stuff. Like you can potentially have huge windows for some things, for like bread and butters and whatnot. Some other things Combo Fiend and the boys talked about. No more jab hit confirm combos.
Ooh.
Those are kind of going like there'll still be jab combos like jab jab, into something, but they're not going to be like as kind of ridiculous as they used to be in like Street Fighter 4 where every character like has, jab hit confirm combos, especially like, Cammy for example was really heavy on the jab hit confirms. I mean, my Ken in Street Fighter 4 had jab hit confirms.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be able to do damage with like jab jab into something, but it's not going to be as big a part of the game. It's not going to be as damaging as having balls and not being afraid to hit heavy punch or heavy kick to start a combo. Like one of Charlie's target combos is actually medium punch, light kick, heavy kick. Into like a special or something.
That's
But, yeah. Like the target combos are very interesting. A lot of them start with mediums and heavies. Execution barriers are going down. Did you hear about the fight money?
Yeah, that's really what I wanted to touch on was the fact that they released their entire business model.
Yeah, and props to Capcom for like finally sort of seeing the light and not making me buy the same game 5 times.
Yes, I want to hug them for that, especially after the fact that now, since I'm pondering wanting to buy Chrono Phantasma Extend, they just announced that the Central Fiction is coming out.
Apparently that's going to be the last one, but here's the thing. For me, BlazBlue is to Guilty Gear as Methadone is to heroin. Why should I settle for Methadone when I have Guilty Gear?
Accurate.
Like honestly, like I like BlazBlue. Like don't get me wrong, it's a series I enjoyed when it was the only Arc System Works fighter that there really was. And it's got its own merits. It stands on its own, but now that Guilty Gear's back, I just don't care enough to buy like 5 more versions of BlazBlue.
Right.
Because like I have Chrono Phantasma, I don't have Extend yet. I might buy Extend, but I'll probably wait for the Extend version of Central Fiction, which we both know is coming.
Yeah.
And then Arc System Works, or at least Mori-san, Toshimichi Mori, they've apparently talked about wanting to start a new fighting game series after Central Fiction. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'd like to see them move away from BlazBlue now that there's been like 30 fucking games.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Street Fighter panel for Capcom was really good. A lot of it's, it's on YouTube and on, Capcom Unity's talked about it, Combo Fiend. But yeah, the fight money and the Zenny aspect is really cool. Execution barriers I'm glad that are coming down. Important, like DLC characters will be earnable. I think that those are a lot of the main points.
Yeah, the fact that the DLC is going to be earnable was huge to me.
Yeah. Like, you'll still probably have to pay for costumes, but it's fine.
If you're the sort that wants to do that sort of thing, awesome.
Yeah.
If you want your E-Honda to look like a turtle.
Yeah. If you want your wild costumes. Personally, I've always been happy with just classic, Like, I always play Ken just in, original flavor, red gi. I don't need Cowboy Ken or any of that noise.
I think the only alternate costume I have ever used, well, actually 2 of them. One is Bison's costume in Ultra, where he kind of looks like Nathan Explosion.
Oh yeah, with the long hair.
And the other is Abel's alternate one, where he's in like the standard like Greco-Roman wrestler outfit.
You play Abel?
I did for a while.
You did to me.
I dropped him because he's really, 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 really execution heavy. Like, there's a lot of one frames.
You're playing Street Fighter 4's Remy. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's honestly, like, as much as he's supposed to be the replacement Alex, really, he's just the game's Remy.
Which
and
is
nobody
actually
likes Remy.
kind of funny because I play Ultra on PC. I downloaded the mod that makes Abel look like Alex.
The only way he's, like, fucking standable.
But no, in the last couple of months, I've really embraced the dictator tech.
Nice. Yeah, I played around with Bison Dictator in 4 a little bit. Mostly just because I needed to learn a charge character. Or I felt like I did. You know, like all I play is motion characters. I should at least figure out one charge character to broaden my horizons a little bit.
And he's really one of the more entry-level ones.
Yeah. I was having fun with him. But he's still a charge character in 5, so I don't know how much I'll mess around with him.
See, I'm really looking forward to playing him because he's got the shot as opposed to the Psycho Crusher as a base move.
Yeah.
He's more alpha Bison than he is any other Bison.
Yeah. I've kind of noticed, like, they're really going with a lot of alpha influence in Street Fighter V.
I have seen that.
Like, with Bison and, you know, Charlie, Birdie all coming in and all sorts of things. So how about that new guy, Nikali? First new character of 4 that they're releasing in the initial 16-character roster of Street Fighter V, which they also announced.
Yeah.
12 returning characters and 4 new guys.
And one of the new guys is basically a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, he's like a Super Saiyan New Zealand Blanca, and I'm okay with that, because I really dislike Blanca. At least Street Fighter 4 Blanca, I hate having to deal with Blanca players.
We got a guy that comes to our regular tournaments who's a sick Blanca player. Like, I think I actually sent you one of the highlights from one of the last ones where the match came down to literally like the last 2 seconds, and Ryu whiffed a Shoryuken, and it ended the match.
Nice.
It's a very patient game. Like I haven't been able to play a Blanca and enjoy it since Hyper Fighting.
Yeah, Blanca's just one of those characters I can't wrap my head around him. Like, how to fight Blanca. Like, I'm the same way with Honda, actually. Where, like, no matter how much I fight Hondas, I can never really figure out, like, what I'm actually supposed to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Nikali looks pretty cool. I like the fact that he's very Blanca-esque, because it means Blanca probably won't be in the game. At least not initially, not for a while. And this guy seems a little less, like, crazy. He doesn't have the ball, you know, the Blanca ball and the rolls and shit.
He's got an anti-air where he grabs you out of the sky, and
Yeah.
a lot of face grabbing.
I wonder if he's evil Blanca secretly.
I'm wondering. Yeah, I wondered something along those lines.
That would be funny if he's just Blanca with the Satsui no Hado. It's been taken over. But yeah, Nikali looks interesting. Again, lots of face grabbing, lots of clawing.
Basically, you know what it is like Street Fighter 4 was a lot of hitting somebody out of the air.
Yeah.
This one is a lot of face grab.
Yeah.
Like, look at every Ultra in the game. Almost all of them, somebody's getting hit out of the air.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope at some point the twins come back. Just as far as speculating about the roster, really, I just want Yoon, Yang, and Armika. And I would be so happy.
The community is pushing so hard for Armika to come back.
Well, there's no like female grappler in the series other than her. And they want character variety. What's more variational than Armika? And with this big alpha push they're doing, with all these alpha characters they're adding, you know, maybe, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, a lot of Third Strike characters showed up in 4, so maybe they're pulling in a lot of alpha characters for 5.
Here's to hoping.
I can dream. I'm allowed to dream.
I mean, the fact that it's only going to be 16 when it launches, but the fact that
they're going to add characters like just continuously. It seems
Yeah.
like
It,
every few months they'll add somebody.
it kind of seems like the Mortal Kombat X way of going about business,
Yeah,
where it's
or
like every
even
2 or 3 weeks a character's popping in.
but
But
yeah. So hopefully they'll end up eventually with like a pretty big roster with a lot of fan favorites.
I would not die. It kind of seems like the way they're going is it's going to end up turning into like Street Fighter Mugen Edition.
Yeah, maybe. We'll really just have to wait and see. Like they might ultimately keep the roster relatively small just to maintain like the variety of characters.
It seems like they're going a lot, which I like, of the quality over quantity.
Yeah. Like they're making legitimately like Ryu and Ken are very different characters now. And like how many Shotos can they add before eventually it gets to a point like in Street Fighter 4 where if you've watched the recent Honest Trailer's interpretation of Street Fighter, you've got Ryu, also Ryu, Girl Ryu, Joke Ryu, Evil Ryu, and Eviler Ryu.
That made me laugh so hard. Gay Wolverine.
That video is great.
Street Fighter 5, can't wait. The beta is out right now.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, like I said, I got to fight title screen the whole time I was trying, which was the 2 hours before we started recording this, and I never got anything. I saw one streamer who got into the training mode, and like that was it. Out of like 4 or 5 streams that I checked, only one guy even got to training mode. I never got into anything. Apparently, people are starting to be able to get on, and Capcom has actually come out on Twitter. I think Combo Fiend or somebody said that Capcom would be adding extra time to the end of the beta to make up for the fact that nobody's been able to actually play it today.
Clutch.
Yeah, so good on Capcom. And hopefully they get their servers working, they get their updates and their hot fixes and whatnot all set.
But I will close with this. As we've been recording this episode, I did find one story that I want to bring up, talking about professional players. The best Zangief practically in the world, Snake Eyes, is now part of a team.
Oh yeah, he got picked up by Red Bull.
Red Bull Games has officially signed Daryl Snake Eyes Lewis.
Yeah, finally. I mean, I think they were actually unofficially sponsoring him for a while now. Like, it's always kind of been hinted at since Capcom Cup last year, I think. Or no, since the Red Bull Kumite, actually.
Yeah, because I think he was one of the first people invited to that.
Yeah, he got invited, and there's sort of always... Ever since then, there's been rumors about him having involvement with Red Bull, and I guess it's finally official now.
Yep.
So yeah, props to Snake Eyes.
One of my favorite players. The fact that he still has one of the Blanca SF4 controllers that still work.
Yeah. I mean,
itself.
I'm not a huge fan of watching, like Turtley Zangiefs, but legitimately he's a great player. He's a cool dude. I'm glad he's getting sponsored and whatnot. I think Itabashi Zangief already plays for Razer, so...
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. I like watching Itabashi's Zangief a lot more because he just goes ham as fuck. But I think I saw Snake Eyes a little bit over the weekend. I think I actually saw him getting a little more aggressive with his Zangief.
I had the footage of him and Daigo. Yeah, he goes in way more.
Yeah. He was definitely more fun to watch this weekend than I've ever seen him before, so hooray.
But the only Zangief I've really been good with was CVS2, and that's only because you can roll to SPD.
Yeah.
That, I think, is going to wrap up this marathon.
Oh, God. Yeah, this went a little long. We had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we did have quite a bit to talk about, because we're approaching the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to have this out on Friday. If it doesn't happen, I'm sorry, everybody, but this is 2 hours of editing.
Oh, shit, did we talk about S-Kill's new game?
No, we didn't.
Oh, yeah. So if you were watching EVO, you certainly saw commercials for Rising Thunder, the giant robot fighting game that didn't look very interesting other than the fact that it had GGPO netcode. Well, I learned some things on Monday vis-a-vis interviews with Kotaku. Turns out S-Kill is developing that game. Seth Killian himself is working on it. I also found out that I think one of the Cannon brothers actually is the author of GGPO, which I didn't know. Like, the Cannon brothers are the founders of EVO, along with Joey Queller.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a surprise. And yeah, apparently Rising Thunder, which I actually signed up for the beta, so we'll see if we can get that to actually play. But yeah, apparently it's a cooldown based low input barrier fighting game where instead of like having to do fireball motions and Shoryuken motions to get moves to come out, the most complex thing you do is press a direction and a button. And essentially to maintain balance and keep things simple, your special moves have cooldowns. So like if you throw out a Shoryuken-esque move, you can't use it again for like 5 seconds or something. So you can't just spam specials. You have to footsie and do normals and learn to combo and do Yomi. Like essentially Seth Killian's whole philosophy with the game is that it should be about reading your opponent and Yomi and mind games and the poker and kind of strategic elements of fighting games, not having to master one frame links and doing 360s and 720s and learning how to do all these special moves. You shouldn't have to fight the game. You should have to fight the person you're fighting.
So effectively, it's LOL, the fighting game.
A little bit, but not the actual League of Legends fighting game that's in development.
Wait, are they really?
Yes, somebody is making a League of Legends fighting game, and it has the go-ahead from Riot Games. I haven't heard anything about it in over a year, so it's probably been abandoned. But there was like pre-alpha footage of it, of like a really rough build at one point. But yeah, no, the Seth Killian fighting game looks interesting now, knowing that it's got like next level netcode and Seth Killian's working on it. And apparently it's going to be completely free to play. Like you'll never have to pay money if you don't want to.
Good on them.
Yeah, although so far at least it's looking like it's PC only. So on one hand, it's free to play. On the other hand, you have to have a PC, which is kind of expensive.
Yeah, especially for like, I really hope that the developers of Yatagarasu Attack on Cataclysm get enough money to bring it to consoles.
Yeah.
I mean, I play on Steam, but I would like that to get bigger.
Yeah. I actually kickstarted Yatagarasu, Indiegogo did Yatagarasu. And I've been keeping up with it, and it looks really fun now. Like, I'm pretty happy with what they managed to put together. Especially because they didn't get, like, crazy Skullgirls money.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got, like, tens of thousands, not, like, nearly $1 million.
Yeah, I think they were only asking for, like, 60,000, and I don't even think they doubled that.
No. I don't remember them breaking 6 digits. But, Indiegogo. But yeah, I can just double check here. Magic of the Internet. Oh, okay, yeah, they got $118,000.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even think they doubled what they were trying to get.
Yeah, which is right around double what they're asking for, and somehow they made an entire game based just on that. So, but it looks really fun. I saw the best friends play video of it. It looked really good. I'm not a huge fan of the character design, but that's really my only hang-up with it.
Yeah, that's kind of what's hanging me up on actually purchasing it, other than the fact that I'm broke.
Yeah, like some of the characters look kind of dumb. Not a huge fan of them, but overall, it's a pretty solid little fighting game. I think they actually had a showing at EVO too. They had a side tournament and stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But we're already into like bonus content.
Yeah, basically. So, Mitch is back, everybody.
Yay!
So
I'll try
that's
and be
gonna
back
do
a
it
little
for
more
us.
frequently.
like I said, the fact that go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just life and adulting and like moving and all that. I've been kind of busy. Also training for Evo to get bodied.
But now that that's all over with, we can have our Mitch back.
Yay!
So that's gonna do it for us here. Watch the YouTube channel, because this is actually the first episode that I'm going to post on the YouTube channel.
Hot damn!
In addition to the slew of other social media sites, like the Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch. Stay tuned. August 2nd, the Twitch will be broadcasting Mash It Out 5 here in Rochester, New York. Next level tournament streaming.
Yeah.
Watch Rochester versus Buffalo in what's hopefully going to be not Buffalo taking our money again. So that's going to do it. I am the John.
I am the only Mitch.
It feels so good to hear that again, man. You don't know. We're done.